it should show everyone else how you move.
All right. In our last episode, the party returned to Philadelphia and met with Ben Franklin. Graham got his new prosthetic leg. The
So you
party,
just show it off.
the party found out that when they destroyed the horseman's head, fire that reeked of brimstone took out the barn where the horsemen in Legion were fighting, and that there was no sign of them. The party is pretty certain the horseman is in fact dead. And at the same time, there is some concern that Legion has gotten away and may end up working for the bad guys. Franklin then assigned the party to various tasks trying to convince delegates to support the independence motion. He asked Dr. Channing to look in on Caesar Rodney. When he did that, Silverlock used his spirit sense, detected something upstairs. They went up and they found Carlisle, the monster hunter. And Silverlock had an incident with a smoking mirror that Carlisle had that showed him visions that made him paranoid. Meredith had to basically put him to sleep with magic, and then he woke up and he was still paranoid. She tried to put him to sleep again. He backhanded her. And Franklin has asked the party to go oversee a prisoner exchange. A British officer is being traded for an agent who is part of the Masonic Order of St. George. Silverlock is ditching the party to fly south to check on Virginia. Any details I missed? Oh, Silverlock has a backup Philosopher's Stone ring that Franklin made. He revealed that he made 3. One for him, one for Washington, and then the one that he gave you guys. So, Jeff, we're going to handle your part first. So you've flown to Virginia. I need you to make a survival navigation check.
Okay, and I assume I get the bonus.
Yes. If you can...
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you would get for being in bird form.
Oh, I was just using my normal one, but that's okay. I think my skills still stay the same unless its survival skill is higher.
Yeah, I think your physical skills would change. I think survival being an intelligence-based skill, I think it stays.
It was the same anyways. I was using the modifier but I still didn't roll that great. That's
Well, it's okay. I mean, you just kind of need to find the island again. So you make it to Roanoke Island, and you land in the colony. Everything is as you left it. It's still in ruins. You're there but a moment before Virginia in deer form walks out of the woods, and you hear her voice in your head. Why have you returned so swiftly?
I have found that there's been more shards of the stone, and I thought that it would be best if you had as much as you can of it.
Your instincts may prove correct. And I'm assuming you're carrying the stone in bird form, and you can just leave it.
Yeah.
You should definitely put a ring on her antlers.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't think, because she's not a reindeer, I don't think does have antlers.
That made this a whole lot sadder.
Fun ruiner.
because I wanted to give her like glow in the dark antlers, like the deer in that meme, but
I was totally, definitely thinking of Harry Potter.
Yeah, the
You
Patronus.
know, but that meme is pretty funny.
so as you leave the stone, again, she doesn't pick it up because she's in deer form, but she will once she reverts to human.
So what you're saying is, if you leave a ring behind, she'll also pick that up, which is human.
Yes.
Good.
Is this all that has brought you, delivering this ring?
Uh,
I sense there's more.
and I think part of my I tell her about the vision of the smoking mirror.
Croatoan's darkness cannot encroach on this place while I'm here. The only reason that it was able to reach you last time is I had ventured too far. I am not doing that as long as the stone is here. The only darkness of his that can come is if a mortal were to bring it, and there are a few mortals that I have shown this colony to.
I also would have told him of my vision if he wants to tell her about that, but if
Yeah,
you remember about the three boys, the three, the guys, and the one that swore his
Yeah.
allegiance to her is all bloody.
No. The one that. So you saw the three brothers. Albedo, the one who swore his allegiance to Virginia, had like the Todoroki burn on his face.
Right? Yeah.
Punishment for betraying, probably.
Negredo, the one that you guys fought in Boston, he'd been pretty brutally stabbed. In
And
Rubido, there was no sign of damage on him.
yeah, all right. Yeah, I'd passed as much information as I know.
It would be. I'm not sure whether or not the other side is going to use magic or not. Is my cliff notes of my vision.
And I probably would. It's like the whole thing with magic. It's like I mentioned what we used with you putting them to sleep and me using the my nature's embrace. It's like you know I'm like going. I hope these are not would cause problems or not, or is it the use of all magic? We should be because I don't want to. It's like I'm thinking that if we're doing stuff that won't harm people, that's the main thing. But if it's any type of magic,
I've never asked for either of you to give up using your powers entirely. I merely warned you that using it excessively to do harm risks setting a third sacrifice that would empower Croatoan.
okay, so it's been so if I and I mentioned like using my the one that I get the
Yes.
my bonus. It's like if I'm using that, but it's like but not harming anybody, like taking their weapons away and stuff like that. That would be okay.
Again, she remains silent. She's not going to give you any more
Okay.
guidance than
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, it's like I'm like going okay. If I'm not harming people, that's but okay.
She's trusting your judgment.
I think this is divine revelation from the DM to tell me to stop using my harm spell so much.
No. Again, you can use it. She's just warning you that all
And there's
magic comes with a price.
There's consequences.
This
yeah.
is the doctor's like side effects notes. May cause, you know,
May cause bleeding, indigestion, and the apocalypse.
And the end of the world. Yes. So just minor inconveniences.
Yeah.
Release a great evil that will destroy pretty much all of the continental U.S.
Yes.
It's just Yellowstone erupting. Come on, it's
Dry mouth, indigestion, and doom.
okay. And I thank her for all her help, and it's like indicate that I have. It's like, is there any way I can call you, or besides returning here, or if I need a burn experience for a spell that might allow me to communicate with her? It's up to you, Adam.
I will say, if you do wish to buy any spells, you should let me know what they are, because she could potentially teach you.
What would be a good one to do would be the one that lets you speak with a spirit and it'll answer one question, yes or no.
That would work. The augury spell to allow you to, and it would specifically be you'd be asking her.
And they're all yes and no questions, which makes it. I had that once, and I sucked at that power.
Well,
I mean, that was also because you guys, yeah, you really got to put thought into framing your questions, as
Yes.
most of this group learned when they were in New Orleans dealing with the voodoo man in the last game.
and our DM is a lawyer, so.
I wish I had. Okay, you had $1,000, but now you don't have it.
Wait, Adam's a lawyer? It never reminds me of that. It's so weird.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's Cthulhu in power armor.
We're fast friends, Adam. I'm used to it. Hey, how's it going?
And it's like, joke's on you. I've seen Cthulhu in power armor in every campaign at this point. Even showed up in Star Wars once. It was weird.
Look, he brought his friend Death Star, also in power armor. Okay, hey.
Yeah. That's right. In Star Wars, it wasn't Cthulhu in power armor. It's like the GM has had it with you. The Death Star appears in orbit. Roll initiative. Yeah, I would say the augury spell would be one option.
Well, would Astral Projection be?
You could also get a version of the premonition spell. And again, your premonitions would come from her, so they'd be different than the ones that she gets. Let me think about that. But I think augury would be the best one.
Well, Astral Projection, if that was an option, that would give more than just a yes/no, because I could actually travel to her in spirit form.
Let me look at that one.
Page 49.
I would say yes. I think that's very much in keeping with your magical tradition that you would, and it's definitely something she can do. So yes, she will teach you that spell if you wish to learn it.
Okay. Yeah, I just felt like it's sometimes it'd be nice to be able to talk to her and.
Okay.
He's starting to feel uncomfortable out in the real world again.
Well, there's that too.
Sometimes you just want to go where everybody knows your name and everybody is one magic deer. So yes, if you want to spend 3 experience to learn that spell, you can.
Yeah.
It's because he's antisocial.
Very much so. All right, then. I'm going to go to the rest of the party at the prisoner exchange.
Okay.
So I'm a prisoner. If they're being gone for a week, I see what happens.
All right.
At least I'm
So-
alive.
Who's the red coat in front of us?
That's the officer that you're exchanging.
Oh, okay.
Prisoner, for the exchange.
And as is protocol, he's had his sword returned. He is an officer.
Okay.
So
But he has no firearms or anything like that then, right?
he does not.
Okay.
He has a sword, and the person coming back, does he have a sword as well?
He does not. He's not an officer. He's a spy. He's lucky he wasn't hanged.
This is true. Spies have a very bad rap in this day and age.
I'm going to have everyone roll initiative. Just in case.
Spies are known to be, double crossers and pirates and
Yeah. Well, I mean, even today, there are rules for how prisoners of war are treated, and they don't apply to spies. Spies, you're just kind of expected to kill.
Yeah, because they are not wearing any uniform, and okay, so there's the rifleman.
Oh. Shoot, I thought that
can we arrange the prisoner to be, on this side of the bridge so he's not, walking right down the middle?
did my 6 not show up for Josiah?
I see it.
No.
It
On
just
the
you might not have
But
clicked
if-
on your token.
I see it in the chat.
Crap.
I'll fix it this time.
Actually, you know what? It's not letting me click on him.
I'll
Okay.
fix it for you this time.
All right.
All right.
Oh, I know why.
So that's there for if we need it.
Well, I thought it was for the rifleman. But yeah,
Why isn't our prisoner coming across? Oh, not his turn yet. I see. Got it. Okay.
Wow.
As they are about to pass each other on the bridge, a shot rings out.
Fuck.
Ah,
From-
here it goes.
From who?
Comes
My
from the wood. It comes from the woods, and it comes from the woods on your side.
Oh, great. They think we double cross them.
Another shot rings out from the woods on their side.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, basically shots have been fired. No one's gone down, but everyone is on edge. What you don't know what they're gonna do, but what you do is, what you do could be important.
All right.
Manning, you're up first.
Okay. The prisoner exchange is the most important thing. So I'm going to try to continue to facilitate that even though we are under attack. So I'm going to motion to our prisoner to just run. Don't even try and wait a minute, hold on. Is that the wisest thing to do here? Because they're going to think that they're already going to think we're double crossed them anyways.
You and me are thinking the same thing. It's just your turn, not
Okay.
mine.
Okay, let's just get them across. Let them get them across, and then we'll get the hell out of here. If this has already gone bad, the best thing that can happen is we get our guy out, and I think we can still do that. Okay, I'm going to motion towards him to come and just yell, "Come, come, come!"
Okay, Mary, you're up next.
Gosh, I kind of want to figure out where the shots are coming from, but I don't know exactly what I
Make
would.
a perception check.
Yeah. Whoops. Man.
Come. Never mind. Can't do it yet.
4. Oh.
Okay. Wow. Good news.
I don't want to do anything to interfere directly with the prisoner exchange, but I would like to know what is going on with the people we can't see. What do I see for that?
To the south in the woods, you notice, trying to follow the sound of the gunshot, you notice this guy.
Sweet. Can I do a sleep spell on him? I have no idea who it is, but they need to go to sleep.
Sure.
Well-
We should have searched the woods.
We should have searched the
We
woods.
should have searched the woods before we did this.
Sleep. Oh, hold on. Gotta look at the modifiers. So it'll be at not a -2 because of the dog. So I'm going to do it flat, but I have the dog bonus, and it's just a distance issue.
Sure.
So, oh, that was really, really bad.
Overcome his will. He is not asleep.
Really? What other than him looking like an Indian, is there anything else I notice about him? Just that he looks like an Indian?
Not with that roll. Like,
Okay.
you were able to find him. Like, I don't think your character is well enough versed in the Indians to be able to make that determination.
Definitely not.
Where's John when you need him? Okay.
I know, right? I would inform the group of said person in the wood, pointing him out, and that would be my turn, I believe.
Okay. Next up, we have Thomas.
Is it possible for me to? Probably not, because he's watching us, right? I can't sneak up on the guy in the woods, can I?
No, you cannot.
Hold on. What is our guy doing crossing the bridge? Is he looking? Is he still walking? Is he?
Yeah,
frozen?
he's still coming forward.
Okay.
Or will on his turn.
I'm gonna rush the guy in the woods and attack him.
Okay. So, for the sake of not having it look like you're in a tree, I'll put him here and
Very
you
nice.
can be here.
Cool. And I'm going to, let's see, what weapon I had drawn. Let me decide.
You
Right now.
move very quickly.
Yeah, I have a lot of move. I have a 6 move.
Me over here with the 3 is very impressed.
I am going to saber him.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So, yeah, you have wounded him.
And in my wounding of him being up at his grill, do I notice anything about him, or do I have to perceive? I didn't perceive.
Again, I'm not sure you're familiar enough with the Indians to.
Okay.
What did he fought in the French and Indian War?
Not my
It's-
character.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying it's possible for some of them. That's
Yeah, you're right.
depending on the age of the characters, because
Yeah. All right, Jeff, as the Pennsylvania rifleman, what is your character doing?
well, right now I'm just keeping our prisoner undercover to see if any of the redcoats, if they're starting to attack him, then I'll plan to return fire. But that's pretty much. But I have my gun ready, but not. It's in my hand, but not aiming at anybody at this point in time, because as long as they don't seem like they're attacking, I'm just following orders, you know.
Okay. Captured agent is going to move. Indian scouts.
Also, I'm impressed that they had guns and not like arrows.
I have to assume that they're from a different tribe than Jeff is affiliated with. in his character at least is affiliated.
All right.
Silverlock isn't here though, so they might not even be.
Well, a lot of natives used muskets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they traded
they-
for them. They
That's
had to
true.
use them.
So, Aaron, you're defending against him basically hitting you with his musket.
Son of a bitch.
Oof.
Time to roll 0. Oh, damn.
Oh, nice, sweet.
Okay.
Nice.
It's almost as good as you can get.
Wow. I was like, what? I feel like I should go play a lottery. Like having these 2 rolls in a row, I feel like I should just go do something and I'll win. I'm
Go
gonna
to
win.
Vegas.
Oh my god, this is the day. This is where Adam says to himself, okay, all right. Challenge accepted.
A shot hits the British officer, fired from the woods, presumably from one of the Indians.
You made one visible over here.
I made them both visible. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
I figured once he shot, you'd notice him.
Mm-hmm.
He continues across the bridge, having been wounded, but the British maybe even more jumpy now. What's Graham doing?
Graham was gonna look to see kind of where the shots were coming from, but I think that's pretty visible at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Which way is the river flowing, north or south?
The river, looking at how the water is hitting the rocks, appears to be flowing south.
Okay. I would like to. Can I take cover here, like crouch down by the bridge sideboard?
Sure.
Okay, and I want to see if the British are opening fire, looking to open fire on us, or presenting their muskets in our direction or not.
I mean, they were always presenting their muskets because they were covering the prisoner exchange. So at
Mhm.
least some of them always had their muskets presented.
But they don't look like they're about to volley on us. Or maybe.
You don't know.
Okay.
Make an empathy. I'll make an empathy check.
Okay. 2.
You can't tell. Like
Okay.
it is so you know they're tense. You don't know if that's gonna
Okay.
turn into action or not.
Okay, I'm gonna just kind of crouch down, and I will wait.
Okay. So this guy is advancing to kind of assist the officer. And they're all just kind of readying their muskets. You know, this guy's kind of looking this way toward where he thought the gunshot came from. So far. All right, Dr. Channing, you're up next.
Okay. I'm going to suggest to the rest of my fellows that we get the hell out of here. And to set a good example, I'm going to head in that direction away from here.
Okay.
Walking backwards.
Pardon? Probably
you
not
walk-
a bad idea, actually.
Yeah,
Yes, I am indeed
going
walking
back.
backward. And
Yeah,
actually,
falling back. keeping
can I
your eyes on him.
can I grab him? Can I grab him and kind of take him with me?
Yeah, yes, I'll say we'll just move him with you this turn,
Okay.
and then he'll
All right, I
not.
think
So yeah, move, and then
5, I think, is my move. Let me double check that. I think it's much more
Okay.
than that if it is that. Yeah, move is 5, so.
all right. I'll just have him move now instead of on his turn, and since you're
Okay.
trying to move him, Mary, you're up next.
My move is so slow that moving backwards is not a bad idea for me. But I'm going to move one over as well.
If you run, you double your move, don't you? at him?
This is true.
Yeah.
But I don't quite want to run away because I don't want to get shot in the back.
Fair, fair.
Can I ask Josiah, do you think we should take the Indian native prisoner and see what's going on?
No, I don't want to complicate the mission. We need to get this guy out of here and move on. That's my suggestion. I don't think we need to complicate this any further than it already is.
Is there a roll I can make to like get a good description on this guy to see if John knows like who they are?
I'll let you make an intelligence roll. Just straight up intelligence. You're trying to commit this guy to memory.
This is gonna be so funny if I get it bad.
Thomas, you're up next.
I mean, in theory, I'm behind the. I don't see him backing away, so I'm gonna keep finding the guy. I mean, can I just like? Is there a penalty just to knock him unconscious as opposed to trying to kill him?
You'd basically have to hit him with a non-lethal. There's a talent to do non-lethal damage with lethal weapons. You do not have it.
But I do have the butt of my pistol, so I have to draw.
Yes. So yeah, if you wanted to hit him with the pistol butt, that would.
Can I just do that, or do I have to draw it?
I would say since you can dual wield, if you wanted to have them both out, I'll let you.
Okay, sounds good.
And so there's no penalty because you're ambidextrous.
Yep, cool. And pistol butt.
It doesn't do too much to him.
Son of a butt.
Captured agent is already moved with Dr. Channing.
Oh, you
The
skipped me.
scout. This guy's going to fall back while reloading his gun.
Yeah, you did skip me, Adam. All I was going to do is move
Oh, I'm sorry.
B. That's fine. All I was going to move, like I said, move so I was between our prisoner and the red kids.
Sure. Sounds good. All right, the Indian scout is going to again commit Thomas with his musket, doing 4.
Everybody says.
We can't be too critical of Aaron for baking during game time because he's probably going to send me cookies at some point.
Ooh, cookies. That's a good idea. I'll be right back.
Cookies.
Non-lethal.
Yeah. So 2 non-lethal.
Yeah.
Adrian, if you can hear me, I expect some.
And he's also falling. That Indian is also falling back. The British officer makes it onto his side of the bridge. Graham is up next.
I'm going to retreat back, so I'm next to the prisoner, or the freed prisoner.
Okay. I'll put you there.
He's eating cookies. I can hear it. His mouth was very full while he was talking.
All right. The British regulars are falling back as well. At least some of them are. Actually, this is going to go here to cover his officer. Yes.
Good soldiers are covering each other's retreat.
Mm-hmm. All right. I will say at this point, if no one's going to take any action other than falling back, you can. If anyone wishes to do anything other than escape.
The only thing I want to do is to face the redcoats and salute them.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
The guy I stabbed. Can I
Yeah.
track? Is there any blood? Is there any like? Can I track his blood? Is he dripping any blood or anything?
You could. I mean, yes. If you can still see him, but yes, if you wanted to come back later and try to track him by his blood, you certainly
Yeah.
could.
I'll do that. But for now, I'm gonna stay in the tree line and follow my comrades out.
Okay. So if everyone's falling back, I'll say we'll get out of turn order. You guys fall back until well, after a while the prisoner rests against a tree. Sorry, I need a breather.
You've been through quite a bit. Mary, do you have any idea who these people were? Mary or Thomas, do you have any idea who these people were that were attacking us?
I have plans to ask John, but
Okay.
I'm not sure who they are myself. You're more likely to get an answer out of me if you ask me about types of fabric rather than, the Native Americans.
It troubles me that well, my question is was this planned or did they just happen upon us? And I tend to think if this was planned, then that means that there's something going on behind the scenes that
I tend to agree with
may be
you.
bigger than us.
I tend to agree with you. I've become a wee bit paranoid since seeing something, and I'm inclined to believe that these people who seem to be superstitious, from what I've seen, are likely following somebody's direction. It's unlikely that they would have people on both sides of the river.
At this point, the prisoner, he's fidgeting with the topmost button on his coat, like nervously fidgeting with it.
Do we all notice this, or?
Make a perception check.
Yes,
Anyone?
please.
I will say
Everybody.
Mary and Channing,
Oh.
you guys notice that the button has the logo for the symbol of the Order of St. George. It's different than the other buttons in that it's got that design on it.
Now, does he look like he's about to pull out a weapon, or is he just trying to maybe
No,
draw our
based
attention
on
to
your
something?
roll, you can tell he was trying to draw attention to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there some sort of greeting we know? That is
Yeah, do we have a secret handshake or something?
I think the button
Yes.
is that, basically, isn't it?
Oh, right.
No.
Yeah, no, they
You have your rings and
No, I have a necklace or something.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you all, when you were all inducted into the order, everyone in the party except John, and literally in this case, also Jeff's character, who is just a
not here anyway.
yeah.
I
You guys are all members of the order, so you would all have either a pin or a ring or an amulet or something.
I think mine was a necklace.
Yeah.
And I would fiddle with it myself and say, "Calm down there. You're in good company." Fiddling with my own necklace.
Good. Yes.
Same thing for myself.
He kind of casts a wary eye at the rifleman.
Is that button
I
coming off?
shake my head. I shake my head no. Just a little bit.
I think she's a seamstress. She might be able to help you with that.
Suffice to say, the information I have, I must get it to Philadelphia immediately. I'm just...
Well then, off we go.
Yes, I'll keep
Anyone
I'll
else
keep
have
you
any
guys-
reason for staying here?
I'm worried about the natives attacking, potentially.
Yeah, that depends.
Well,
Uh,
all the
I
more reason to
wounded one
get
of
the
them.
hell out of here.
And we could track the one I wounded, I'm sure.
I think it's best to make as quick an escape as we can. If they were ambushing both sides, that makes me concerned that they're after. And I'll look at the prisoner. I forgot his name, I'm afraid.
I think all that they're after is more
you
bloodshed.
never got his name.
Sir, I'm Graham White.
I'm Dr. Josiah Channing.
Pleased to meet both of you. Now, if we can get on our way to Philadelphia.
No, what shall we call you, sir?
You'll forgive me, but in my trade, a name is not something freely given.
Very, very well. Okay, may we call you Paul? For the time being.
That will suffice, yes.
Also, could I ask someone for some healing? Just in
Oh
case
yeah,
we-
absolutely. Hold on.
Well,
1 second.
he took a couple of musket butts to the face.
There you go. Oh,
Just a bloody nose.
I suck. That might be enough though.
That's still 2.
Well, that's actually 4 non-lethal.
4 non-lethal, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm healed. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Just
Alright.
takes the nose. Crick.
Is actually, I'm pretty sure that was Thomas part of the Order of St. George? I thought he was.
Yes.
Thomas
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a rifleman that's in place of Silverlock that's not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
So, are you guys sticking around to track down the Indian, or are you heading right
My-
to Philadelphia?
My
I
vote
vote
is get
no.
on the road.
Yeah, let's do it.
fine.
They were
I wanna-
clearly.
I would like to roll a magic to see if I see anything about them, but my visions are always so messed up that there's no guarantees.
Come, we don't
I'm
have
not sure
time for
vision would do
tea.
anything other than complicate matters, but go ahead.
Yeah, I just take a quick drink of water and then continue on my way following you guys because I'm obviously slower than you.
You see a village. You see a village. It looks abandoned. You're just seeing it in the day. It looks like no one's there. You see the sun set, and you see in the windows of the village suddenly eyes that seem to glow. And almost every house in the village has these glowing eyes peering from the windows.
Does the village look Native American or does it look?
Oh no, it's very much a colonial village. It could very easily have been the town you guys came from. It's not, but
Sibling.
it's a small town like that you'd find all over colonial America.
Do they look like ghosts?
It looks more like the eyes are reflecting whatever ambient light is there. Like there are faces, it's dark and you can't see the faces, but in the light it's like no one is there. In the dark, you see the light reflected on the eyes, like perhaps this is something that only comes out in the dark.
Can I roll a academic occult to see if I would know of such creatures?
Sure.
If you do, I'll help you because I have the same.
Okay, take a +2 bonus to your roll. If you're willing to tell Thomas what you see and
Hey.
discuss it with him.
Thomas, do you know any people, non-people, that only
I've
come out
seen
at
some. I've
that
seen
only
some
come out at
things.
night?
I've seen some things.
When you
I've-
say people, non-people, I really wanted to make a 3/5 joke, but I know that's inappropriate.
Oh, I forgot the +2.
Adrian, you might want to edit that out of the.
Yeah. Welcome to the thing that gets us canceled. I'll say with 3. Yeah, you've encountered vampires, werewolves. There's all kinds of things that only come out at night. None of them good.
There could be cat people.
I don't think so.
Yeah, wrong game for that.
I take out a laser pen. I'm like, let's just test this theory.
Nope, not in this game. If they are cat people, they live in the center of the earth, and you're not going there.
Damn it. The moles
Um,
await me.
Even though I'm not really there, but can I ask a question that Mary might have asked if she thought about this? Of whether or
Sorry.
not,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
of whether or not the Indian or native that attacked looked familiar or similar to those that were the ghostly ones that were at Roanoke?
Oh no, this was like a guy with a gun. They looked almost corpse-like and had clawed fingers.
Well, no. I'm talking not necessarily that the ones were zombies or whatever. I'm talking about that
The tribe,
tribe-wise.
the tribesmen that disappeared turned into zombies. Of the remaining tribes that did not turn into zombies, did they look like their descendants?
Oh no,
Is the question.
you're in a different enough part of the no.
Okay,
I had
so-
assumed that, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, that
Well,
it's
again-
one of those things. Yeah, I thought
Fair
Adam would say
question.
something, but
Yeah.
you never know. That's why I sort of like.
All right,
Well, if you don't ask me, I won't tell you. You know.
sure. So the party begins moving back to Philadelphia. And as you arrive toward the city, your friend, your traveling companion, is like, "Well, thank you for getting me here. I'm going to go make my report."
You're most welcome, sir.
If
I'm
you tell me where
overly
you're staying, I'd be happy to meet you all and buy you a drink once I collect my wages from Congress.
We will be happy to take you up on that offer.
Yeah, the soldier probably sort of like laughs when he says he's going to collect his wages from Congress because
Yeah, because that doesn't happen. Seriously, the Colonial Army was so underpaid that after the revolution, like Washington had to personally ask them not to stage a coup.
Yeah, you always want to pay your the soldiers who are
Yeah,
doing your revolution.
yeah, just like you always want to. Yeah, your soldiers, your mercenaries, your hitmen. These are not people you want to stiff.
These are the first people you pay.
It'll be like that guy who tried to hire a hitman to kill the first hitman instead of paying him, and then was going to hire a second hitman to kill that hitman. Because they talk. All right. So what are you guys doing now that you're back in Philadelphia?
Guess go talk to Ben Franklin and see if he's got anything.
I want to
I'm
hear
s-
about news of what's going on with the meetings.
Oh yeah,
I'm so curious about his report.
yeah, me too.
I also-
Sorry. I was gonna ask how far are we from where we just were, like at the bridge? Is that like really close to where we were? Like, can we ask about Native Americans that are causing anything that's
That's not a bad idea. Looking into
It's
the
a,
Native
it's a
American-
couple hours ride, but yeah, you might be able to gain some information in Philadelphia. So Aaron, why don't you make an investigation check?
streetwise, maybe.
No, this would be investigation. You're not just
Okay.
going to find.
People talking about it on the street.
Yeah. So you kind of look around, especially asking anyone involved with the militia or the army, and you find out there's a lot of trouble with the Indians. Most of the tribes seem to be siding with the British. So
interesting?
I thought it was only really the Iroquois that sided with the British.
Well,
I-
British can probably pay them better.
yeah, I think historically the tribes were mostly siding with the British.
What about tribes that were siding with neither and aggressive towards both?
That's a good question. Yeah.
Sure, there were some of those as well.
This is how you have to phrase your questions to the undead. Just saying.
All right. Yeah, I mean, a few fought for the colonists. Majority of tribes throughout the continent fought for the British.
Well, they shot at both sides, I assume.
Some did try to stay neutral. Some were hostile to everyone, but the majority of them, yeah, ended up siding with the British.
Um,
And that actually increased as more and more as the war went on.
Quick question. They shot
Yeah.
at both sides, correct?
What's that?
They shot
The
at
one-
both sides, correct?
Yes, the ones who were at the bridge
Okay,
were rather indiscriminate.
that's what I was thinking. Um, I have two things I would want to do. One is find out what information the spy delivered. Two is just do some reading in the notes that I made of the different spells to, further progress towards learning the spells I want to learn.
Okay. If you wish to spend experience at this point on a spell, you may.
I don't. Oh wait, it costs 3, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, no, I'll have to do it at the end of the session. So,
Okay.
but it's just me working towards it.
All right. So those of you who said you want to go back to Ben Franklin, I think that was that Graham and Mary?
Trevor.
Yeah, I want to go.
Or
Well, I want to find out
Josiah.
what's going on with like independence and stuff. If that, I'll find that at Ben Franklin. I'll do that too. Yeah.
All right. John, you've returned to Philadelphia by now.
Okay,
As
that's
a bird, you could travel faster, so you can also be in the city. You haven't linked up with them yet, but you're
well, probably what I would have wanted to do in the interim, or if I had gotten there back earlier, I'd probably want to been checking out around to see if I could find any traces of Legion, or
That's a great idea. The barn.
Yeah.
okay.
because I probably would try to empower myself as much as I could. But that's up to you if you want.
I will allow you to go ahead and make a survival tracking check.
Okay. And how much of a bonus would you allow me to do with the spells? Or
Well, do we know?
I'll give you a +2 for that.
Okay.
If I help him, could he get more?
Not there. He hasn't
No.
linked up with you guys
Yeah.
yet. He is at the barn.
Yeah,
Might
plus
be.
2 is the lowest, but that's okay. But I have +2 as well as with Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, because that's one of the skills you said she.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. +4. Oh, heck, I'll throw in a couple style points just because
It's an important thing.
I think it's something I would, want to be trying to find out. So 6.
As a side note, why do I only have 1 style point when I haven't spent any?
Because you've been bad.
This is a 2-parter. I let everyone keep their style points from last time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Treasure's gonna come in with like a bang pretty soon.
You do notice there are some Legion-sized prints. They're not near the barn. Like, that ground has been scorched to the point that... But tracking around the kind of the perimeter, you do find some sign that something big passed that way. And you're pretty sure it wasn't a bear. So it seems like Legion did live and just kind of wandered off.
Okay. Yeah, it's like I'd probably track it to, because, I don't, I'd probably track it as far as I could to a point that I think it's sort of the breaking point of when I would think that everyone else would be getting back because, so I don't know how far I'd get, but it's like I said, I think I'd be probably blazing a trail or, so I could return back if need be to see if he's going a specific direction or if it's wandering around or,
He seems to be heading in a... He doesn't seem to be heading just kind of wandering the area. He seems to be putting some distance between himself and the barn, but you don't know if he's going anywhere.
Okay. I activate my spirit sense. Does his track leave any lingering magic residuals, or it might not? But that's
Make a perception roll using your magic.
okay.
I'm not going to
And
make you roll to cast the spell
yeah,
because
yeah, but it'd be just the base for the perception. Okay.
I mean you're kind of almost overwhelmed. Like there is so much kind of residual magic from the hellfire that burned down the barn. It's very hard to pick up anything else.
Well, I didn't know if the trail that he went, and that's what I was trying to see if
Doesn't seem to have any sign of magic. The magic was used to bring Legion to life. He doesn't
Yeah.
appear to have.
any
He doesn't appear to
lingering. Yeah.
himself be magical. It was more the Philosopher's Stone was magical, and that's what brought him back.
I was just looking to see if there was any, if there was multiple ways of tracking, and that's pretty much what it was.
All right. I'm going to cut now to those who went to see Franklin. As you guys approach, you hear yelling.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Like discussion
Writer's
yelling
block.
or fighting yelling?
Writer's block. Can you believe it, Franklin? Writer's block. The man has a way with words that no other man has, and now he finds the time to have nothing to say. Calm down, John. Calm down. He'll get. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to you. We're not the ones who are going to be in the history books. No, it'll be you. They'll say Franklin did this, Franklin did that, Franklin did some other damn thing, Franklin smote the ground and out sprang George Washington fully grown on his horse. Franklin then electrified him with his mysterious lightning rod, and the three of them, Franklin, Washington, and the horse, won the whole damn revolution by themselves. Is that what you want? John, calm down. I know you're upset, but... And you know as soon as he finishes it, those fools in Congress are going to tear it to pieces. Why... We'll probably end up having to keep the... just to appease Rutledge and the... Curse the South, curse Congress. At this point, Adams storms out of Franklin's house.
And if you watch 1776, the movie, you're having flashbacks. So.
Yes, I totally stole that particular Adams tirade from that movie. At least parts of it. So yes, Adams storms out. He gives you a very curt nod, like, he's trying to be polite, but he's almost too pissed off to care. And Franklin comes to the door. Ah, my friends, you're back from your assignment. Wonderful. Come in. Kel, did everything go smoothly?
It works
Mm,
fantastic.
Not
Thank
really.
you.
There seems to be a Native American tribe that shoots both sides and also likes to stay on both sides of the river, if you get what I mean.
And so we're not sure if they were trying to make things complicated or if it's just the nature of the Indians.
I would lean towards the former, but that's just me.
Well, it's good that you got him back. In addition to being a spy, that man was a member of our order, and
I noticed the button.
Yes, I'm hoping he will call on me with information relevant to that, and
He said he planned to make a report, so...
Yes, well, I don't envy the man if he's going anywhere near Congress today. Things got a little heated when Richard proposed his...
He planned to go there to get paid.
Oh, well then, the disappointment will be his.
So, sir, what is going on in Congress now? Where are things?
Well, not long ago, just before you left, in fact, Richard Lee managed to make his motion for independence.
Interesting.
committee of some of the finest minds in Congress have been asked to write a formal declaration, which Congress will then vote on.
And this would be our declaration of the independence of the Americas.
Yes, it's basically explaining to the king and Parliament all the reasons why we want nothing to do with them anymore.
Yes.
Indeed.
Good.
I am so holding myself back from quoting stuff right now.
I see.
I think.
What think you of the chances of such declaration passing?
Or being recognized by the British.
Well, that's a foregone conclusion. That will not happen. But
Well,
I'd be
yes,
interested to
if
know
we
if the
can
states are
pass the
united.
declaration, what the British have to say about it is officially no longer our business.
We'll just have to kick them
As far as it
here
getting
to the
passed,
Atlantic.
I do think that we have a better chance of that with Virginia on board, and as you no doubt heard Adams say, Jefferson is probably the best writer, at least when it comes to high-minded political writings. I dare say there are better men in Congress when it comes to writing anything anyone would actually want to read.
Something tells me that this writing that he plans to do will be read many years in the future. Should it last that long and not be torn up by the people meaning to sign
Yes.
it.
Should we win the war, it will go down in history, and should we lose, we'll go down in flames.
Or with
We'll all
a
need to hang together, or you shall hang separately.
Ooh, that's
swift
good.
drop and a short stop.
They're all such
Trevor,
positive.
Dr. Channing just quoted Franklin to Franklin, and that's the easiest way to get on his good side.
There we go. Dr. Channing's one contribution to future history.
I
I
think
think
that.
Franklin had already said that by now, so Franklin's
Oh,
just
okay.
hear himself quoted.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you probably would say. Yeah, and who was that wise man who's first?
But yeah, Jefferson is hard at work on the Declaration, or at least hard at work trying to become hard at work on the Declaration. I'm desperately trying to keep Adams from alienating anyone. It's a full-time job.
I see.
On-
So
On top
when-
of being the postmaster. Must be a
Indeed.
very busy man.
when is the next meeting of the Congress? When Jefferson's done, or is there a deadline on him to finish this by some particular date?
Oh, we'll keep meeting. We have other things to fight about while that's being dealt with.
I see.
Something tells me that this is not a good start, but I think
Welcome
we
to
can do it.
politics.
The art of making sure nobody gets what they want.
That's politics. Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
also a quote, isn't it not?
No, I don't think so.
I
If
think
it
it
is,
is.
it's accidental.
It sounds so familiar.
God bless America.
Because nobody else would.
Devil didn't want us.
What is your party? What are your plans going forward?
Who's he addressing this to?
Those of you that are at his house. So I'm assuming that's Graham, Channing, and Mary.
Well, sir, I find myself without anything to do at the moment.
Hmm.
I hadn't yet thought about my next. In fact, I came here to see if there was anything that might be available for us to undertake.
For myself, I'm very interested in the outcome of these discussions. However, I'm also still concerned about a certain barn. Do you have any information on the whereabouts of That would just like you know what I'm talking about.
Well, he's not exactly subtle. I imagine if he hadn't burned, we would have heard someone seeing him.
That speaks volumes to the quality of the trackers.
I I think it would be in the best interest of all parties that perhaps we have a silver lock on our side. Perhaps we can endeavor to find Legion.
If you wish to set yourselves to that task, I have no objection. Though, once you're done, I would. I believe we have need of men in New York. With all that is going on, that is where the war is coming to a head.
I take it New York is still occupied.
Oh, yes. New York is. Well, both sides want it, and so far, they're doing a better job at having it.
I see.
And when you're saying New York, you mean Manhattan, the island, not the entire state.
Right, York City.
Was that beyond? Was that just Manhattan at that point, or had it spread out beyond that to the? Later become the 5 boroughs, the other 4 boroughs.
It hadn't quite become the 5 boroughs yet, but I mean, the areas around Manhattan are also
Occupied.
important strategically.
One would think that they would be happy with their own York, but no, one is not good enough. They need a new one.
Well,
Well, I think for now the plan is to meet up with John and see what if we can find and eliminate or confirm Legion's death, and then head to New York. Before that, I would be curious to hear the report of the gentleman with the fascinating first button on his shirt.
As would I. I expect he'll call on me as soon as he gets frustrated with Congress. If Adams is any indication, it'll take him about 15 minutes.
Perhaps I should wait here.
Indeed. Might be faster. Also, they should probably figure out who is paying them instead of going to a bunch of men that are arguing and probably don't want to pay anyone.
Well, come in, King George. Fetch my guests some tea and.
I love that so much.
I want Franklin to be a recurring. I have so much fun playing him.
oh, he's a fantastic character.
And John's not here, so it's all going swimmingly.
Can you say recurring patron, boys and girls?
Yeah, let me know when I'm getting back, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can be there, providing you would go to Franklin's house.
Yeah, that's the
well,
thing.
that-
We
well,
actually wouldn't go back
No,
to
well,
Frank.
no. It's one of those things. It's like I could see of the places that he would think you guys would go would be Franklin's house, and it'd be one of those reluctant pounding on the door.
I would leave my dog outside just as a we
Aw.
are in fact here in case you do show up.
Okay, well that would make I think I would be feel a lot better of just going to the dog and sort of talking to him in English, and it's like and of course I wouldn't care what people would think passing by. It's like just say let Meredith know I'm here and I have news
Right.
about Legion.
Meredith, you get an indication from your dog that Silverlock is outside.
Oh, I think Silverlock has arrived. Perfect timing for us to plan
Speak of the devil, yeah.
our particular hunt. The dog would get up and kind of nudge toward the door. The reluctance in your eyes. I can see it
Okay.
all.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming everyone is back at Franklin's house by now, so you guys can all interact with one another.
It depends on if John comes inside.
No, I'm not coming inside. I'm just.
Were we
I'll
made
let her
aware that
know.
you're outside?
Yeah,
Because
I
I'll
it did
okay, then
inform
I'll go
people.
outside to see him. Because do I know you? I've only known you've gone to Siege, Virginia, right?
Yeah, we don't know about him going to see
Okay.
the
Yeah, Legion's tracking. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, and you know that me and Franklin, we just don't quite see eye to eye. I don't know why.
How was your trip? Was there any
It was
danger over there? What'd you find?
well, it's like Virginia's still fine. But yeah, I do mention that I went to the barn, and I
Oh,
believe Legion does still live, and I started tracking them, but I thought I'd better get back before to let at least you guys be aware of what's going on. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't like the smell of this place.
feel more comfortable with the barn, I think, than the city.
Actually, it smells a hell of a lot better.
It's an honest smell.
Yeah,
I mean, it literally smells like hell, but
well,
It smells
a
like
normal barn, I think, is what they were referring to. I
oh,
was
I thought
saying
they were talking about the barn that you just came from. That
no, 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 no,
literally
no, no,
smells
no.
hell.
I'm saying a normal barn smells better than what Franklin's house and laboratory. Like I said, especially for my flaw, my background and and my flaw because of the primitive flaw. It's like it does not smell right. It's
He prefers the smell of animal poo.
hey,
it's
It's an honest
natural.
smell.
it's natural. Yeah,
It's a natural, honest smell.
yeah. That's why cities. Oh yeah, back then cities stunk. You smelled them way before you ever saw them. It's
I think just being in the city is enough to probably be a lot for you then. That
yeah.
makes sense.
Okay. So yeah, um, Franklin has gone to. He has stuff to do. So you guys can wait for the messenger or immediately head out for the barn to begin tracking Legion. Or
like to.
if you have some third thing you want to do, you can let me know.
I'd kind of like to find out what that messenger was all about. But I guess my question about Legion is: do we have a realistic chance of catching Legion at this point?
Well, I started tracking them, so
Did you
he's not.
did you have any luck? I mean, did you catch a scent?
Yeah, I
Okay.
started blazing the trail of where I'm pretty certain he was going.
Okay.
It's you know, and you said he was going towards the northeast, Adam, I believe, which is towards New
Mhm.
York.
Actually, northwest, I would say.
Oh,
He's heading toward New York State,
okay,
not necessarily toward the city.
okay. So yeah,
Hmm.
it doesn't look like he's making a straight beeline, but that's in general. It seems like where it's where it's
Well,
headed.
if we have a scent, it might be worthwhile to follow it.
Alfred help track if you need it.
I'll just be doing my best to keep up.
Need a mule or a horse for poor Mary.
Does my character know about Legion's backstory?
I'll say since you've been put on the team, you've been brought up to speed.
Okay.
Legion is something Ben Franklin made of taking basically parts from corpses, sewing them together, and then using his lightning experiments in the Philosopher's Stone, bringing it to life with the idea that it would fight the Headless Horseman to keep the Headless Horseman occupied.
Because the head is somebody who was decapitated by him.
Yeah. That's
Damn
how Franklin
monstrosity.
would hope to aim it at
That
the horse.
tracks. That tracks completely.
And then the party came along and they suggested, well, we have this spell, we could just lock them in the barn. And, you know, that worked.
Until the barn went up in flames.
But the horseman didn't get out of it, so
I consider that a win.
I don't. I have mixed feelings. It's like it was an abomination when it was created. It's still an abomination. It's like,
So as you guys are talking, you see a man that most of you recognize. He's changed his coat, one that's less beaten up, but you know, he's a little more put together than he was when you literally had just plucked him out of the prison transfer. Comes and he nods in greeting.
Ah, good to see you again, sir.
Indeed, had I known you were coming here, I would have joined you.
I see.
Is the good doctor home?
I believe he's gone about on business.
I mean, he's going about his business in his office. So,
Oh, okay.
or
Alright.
were you trying to deceive him?
No. I didn't realize he'd just gone into his office. I believe he's in his office.
Well, then, if you will excuse me, I have a report to make. And he goes in and yeah. Do any of you follow him into Franklin's house?
I
I'm
would.
Curiously, yeah.
I'm entirely curious.
A gentleman does not eavesdrop.
I am a lady.
Is it eavesdropping if you're in the room?
If Franklin sees one or two of you coming, he just allows you into the office. You're members of the order. He's willing to let you. He's willing to let you hear the message.
yeah, I go. I'll wait for you outside.
I'll go in then.
You can keep Coco company.
Yeah, it's
All right, I'll go in.
I'll go in.
Okay. So at this point, he's sitting down with Franklin, and by the time you get there, he's just sitting down with Franklin, who is unfurling a map.
I'm gonna go in, but I'm gonna leave it to the messenger or the agent to do the talking, because, yeah.
So he marks a spot on the map in New York, not Manhattan, not kind of near the Pennsylvania line. This is the village where it's been. The rumors we heard are true.
Quick question: is that one of the spots from the map? That
It is not.
okay.
It's just like we heard. Just an ordinary town. A doctor mostly farm folk. A doctor comes in and promises an inoculation against the pox. Town takes it and everyone falls deathly ill. Then no one's heard from the town. People from neighboring towns are avoiding it.
Could I raise
Some
my
take-
hand briefly?
Yes.
Do they only check the town during the day?
They're not going into the town. They're afraid there's some kind of disease or something darker. I don't imagine anyone has worked up the courage to visit at night. The town seems abandoned. There might be no reason. It might be that all they'll find there is corpses. The British have, not the regulars, but irregulars, Scottish mercenaries have made it very hard for anyone wanting to get into the town. They're trying to look like they're not guarding it, but they're guarding it.
Where's this town? How close to here? It's New York, correct?
Yes. So I'm going to just mark it on your map. Give me a second. The red circle on the map.
Oh, okay.
How close is that to where we did the prisoner transfer?
I mean, you're much closer to Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah, this is on the border, definitely on the New York side of the border.
Okay.
I don't know anything about her vision though, so I'm not going to be able to say anything.
I'm not sure. We could try sending it. I'd try going back, but they know my face. If you have another agent, you might have better luck.
Quick question. When I had the vision, did I get the feeling like they couldn't come outside, or they just didn't feel like it, or they just were? Did I get any?
You don't know.
Okay.
It was cryptic, like many of your visions.
Were they Robert's Rangers, or were they different?
I don't think they were Rangers. I think there are some regulars, but there's also mercenaries. I think someone wants to stop people from going into that village. And again, I imagine they would do the same thing if there was some kind of plague outbreak there, but I get the sense it's more.
Why do you think that they are doing this? Like the whole reasoning behind all of this. Why?
That is a very good question. If they are trying to test out some new, God forbid, if they're spreading plague like a weapon, the village could be a test case. If it's something darker, they may just want to keep people from stumbling into the village and becoming its prey.
What do you know about the doctor that administered this smallpox cure?
Nothing. There were rumors that someone had showed up. By the time I had gotten there, most of the village was wasting away of something.
So you weren't able to get a description of him?
I talked to the few that would come to their doors, and but yes, they all mentioned it was some sort of inoculation against the pox.
No description of the doctor, though.
The man didn't seem particularly descriptive to any of them. I mean, description I got, it could be any number of wandering mountebank charlatan doctors.
I see. And how did they look? The people who answered their door, did they look like they were suffering of something? Any marks?
Pale, malnourished, like definitely like they're wasting from a disease or soon would be.
Can I add that description to my vision description and see if that in particular there's anything that would fall under that category?
Again, there's a lot of things that, like pretty much any form of the undead would require someone to first die.
Okay.
So
I'm not sure what would be able to be done about a whole town of these people, but I don't know. Maybe, Doctor, if you might be able to come up with something with your tiny, invisible to the naked eye living things. I say skeptically.
Well, I certainly would like to investigate. And I might have an opportunity to show you these tiny creatures, since I have a device that can be used to view them.
Meredith feels very uncomfortable, and she's starting to look like John looks like when he's in a city.
Oh, come now, you who wield mighty magics are afraid of tiny little creatures.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Well, that perhaps is wise. We do not understand these creatures completely. Some of them may not be for our good. I think most of them are no interest in us whatsoever.
Are you saying it's a symbiotic relationship or more of a parasite? Because the only tiny bugs I can think of it automatically makes me think of parasites. Is parasites a word that's a common use at this point?
Well,
I would say yeah,
it
probably.
has occurred
Okay.
to me that perhaps the agent which causes rising in bread might be the result of organisms, as I've been describing, who are perhaps producing some sort of gaseous effusion that causes the tiny cavities within bread to form. Blah 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 blah.
And I used to love bread.
He goes on. He goes on until you shut him up or walk away.
Yes. And when he's talking about things, creatures in the grain, at least a few of you are probably thinking of weevils.
No, much smaller.
Baby weevils.
You have to take the lesser of two evils, right?
Yeah.
Either way, I think we're headed to New York. Wait, did we get information on Legion's whereabouts? Yes.
We know what directions he's headed in. Do we know
Okay.
anything beyond that?
It seems that that our companion was able to get a trail on the prey we're following, and it seems that either way we're going to be headed to New York.
Okay.
It seems like we might have another pit stop.
Well, hopefully by the time you return, we will officially have declared independence.
Depends on how that writer's block happens to go.
Oh, I've made arrangements that will hopefully help Jefferson get over it.
He's dead.
No. And this isn't a historical story, it's a reference to the movie in which Ben Franklin brings Jefferson's wife from Virginia because, yeah.
I should just watch that.
It's a great movie. Like, it's just, there's a lot of great, like, snappy one-liners in it. It is a musical, so if those annoy you, you won't like it, but...
Quite possibly then. I'm not a musical person.
Yeah, he is not.
I'm not normally, but like
That one
musical
is pretty good.
Founding Fathers, it's yeah. Also,
Well-
John Adams is played by the car from Knight Rider.
Speaking of which, Adam, I tried to watch that Bebo special for 5 minutes and I just turned it right off.
Yeah, same.
It was trash.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we get it. It's a gag from like, yes. When the joke you put in your show has turned into its own show, then you need to stop.
Yeah. Disappointing.
But anyway. So yes, you guys are. I'm hearing some different ideas, but it sounds like some of you want to track Legion, some of you want to track the or investigate this town.
Either way, we're headed north. I think Legion would be priority, and after that, the town is what the way I see it. But that's just me.
I would actually say the opposite, because whatever is perverting this entire town is probably something we want to deal with sooner.
We do have the luxury of saying that Legion is on our side to the best of our knowledge. So I would think we should resolve the risk of disease first.
Well, you guys didn't see my vision. No.
What was your vision?
Most likely, what's the demon's name himself? What's the
Croatoan.
most likely Croatoan telling his consort that they're going to get more hounds.
I vote that.
And you think that Legion is a candidate for him?
Oh, very likely.
That is grave news. I'm going to pull out my packet, just kind of like my little pouch that hangs on my belt, and as you see Graham sifting through musket balls, and he's looking for a silver one specifically. I fear I don't have enough for this undertaking.
I don't think
I've got 4.
that Legion is particularly more prone to silver than not, that I'm aware of.
I'm not well versed in these arts, but from what Mr. Revere has told us, it's effective against the unnatural.
Yes, more like the hairy, furry kind.
And the ones with teeth?
Wood actually is what would be used for that. Is there a way to make wooden bullets?
Yes, they're called arrows.
Yeah. wooden bullets in a musket would likely be blown to bits by the explosion necessary to fire them.
You need a harder wood, something reinforced.
I think.
Well, that's when you use a blunderbuss.
Stuff it full of stuff.
Well, I'm at a loss. It seems that perhaps the importance of Legion does supersede. But it seems like they're both.
It's entirely possible that this town is of a higher priority. It's just a matter of timing.
Do you think we might be unlucky enough to encounter both at the town, encounter Legion at the town?
Well, first we do need to track him.
That would be efficient.
tracking, I think, because we don't know where towards the northwest that Legion has gone. However, we do know where the town is my reply.
Can you speak with the waters and find out where Legion is?
It's not a magic 8 ball. Not that I know what a magic 8 ball is. I
A
don't think
crystal ball.
the waters wouldn't give me an answer. I might be able to get an answer another way if I can think of it as a yes or no question.
And what of you, Silverlock? You just spoke with Lady Virginia. Is there no leads we can, or
Well,
no
I'm
predictions?
I'm outside, so I don't know if you guys have
I feel like,
came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
So
didn't, he
that's
didn't go in Franklin's house.
yeah,
They are not friends.
perhaps Silverlock has some lead. He's just spoke with Virginia.
I'm telling you, that was pretty much a fool's errand, but if it makes him more comfortable, then he can totally do it.
Fool's
That's
errand or
that.
not, she seems to have a very inhuman role in all this.
I can agree with you on that. I don't think he got that much more information, though. I think him tracking Legion is probably the most information he got.
And what do you think, Timothy?
Thomas.
Thomas? I knew it was a T. Y- Your name still says Aaron on Roll20.
Oh, really?
That's
I'm
my
sorry.
that's my cheat sheet. Um,
Um, I say we begin tracking Legion, but I am deeply concerned about the town. Uh, so let's see where we end up, and if we see any signs of trouble on the way while tracking Legion, we can decide as we find trouble. If we find nothing, we can put a pin in it and come back to it.
I think we'd
We can
much
always
prefer to put a bullet in it.
I don't. I'm right there with you. We can always interview passerby. We come by any small towns, see if they saw anything. If they've heard any stories, we can act on them.
Monsters from a town attacking other towns would be
Okay.
a sure
Well,
shock that we should change our direction, but
let us find Legion. That was my inclination coming in here, and perhaps it has escalated its importance.
Mhm. I disagree, but I will go with you.
I also don't think that we're going to persuade John to go to a town before we get Legion. That's just a side note, but
Well, I shall go ask him, and I will leave and exercise my new flaw and just whoosh, leave.
What is your new flaw?
Impulsively storm
Oh,
out.
Okay.
But I will, go outside and uh, ask these things to Silverlock. My main question starting off would be, did Virginia, man, my names today, I'm sorry. Did
it's a
she,
V name. Yeah.
maybe his new flaw should be forgetful.
That's
Uh,
what mine did.
that would be a pain.
But yeah, I'll ask him if she said anything to you, or if you have any ideas on where Legion might be, and if you've heard of the town of what we've just been discussing, and how it's.
Uh, I probably don't. At least I'm not aware that if I know anything about the town. Uh, Now, I know way back when on the pirate ship I had gotten a map.
The
I
town
don't
is
know.
not on that map
Yeah.
of places.
Yeah.
Um, Roanoke was.
Yeah.
So you can cross that one off
Yep.
as having now been investigated.
You totally should have asked Virginia if she knew any of the other places on the map.
Well, I can do that at other times. But I do mention that Legion was heading northwest, so that town could possibly be on its way. It's kind of hard to say. Uh, One thing I do mention is like if you think that Legion might be going that way, you know, supposedly it was made of different parts. Could some of its parts be from that town? And that's something is drawing it there?
His feet.
You, I know you don't like this place, but you really should come and discuss this and ask, because Mr. Franklin's the one who assembled this, and you ask a very good question.
Yeah, it's like I look at your leg. It's like, I sort of like you better with when you just hobbled
I'd
around.
like to be better with the nub.
So as all of us, start to lose body parts and get them replaced with mechanical, pieces, will John eventually leave the party?
Fast forward to the end
We'll
of
have-
the
we'll-
war.
We'll have to rename the game Cyberpunk 1776.
Yes, I was about to say that. Oh, that's
Losing
funny.
your humanity.
That's funny.
Is Keanu Reeves in this one too, or
Probably. He's in everything.
I was going to say it would be steampunk 1776, wouldn't it? Because the clockwork 1776, yeah.
That's funny.
But
Mm.
I probably would reluctantly allow myself to be drawn in. I just, yeah,
Okay, I will.
probably look like a trapped animal. Keep looking where the exits are. Yeah.
As a side note, it's 100 years too early to be the Victorian era steampunkiness.
Well, that's why I was saying clockwork.
Colonial clockwork. I love it. I will bring you in if you are so willing and rejoin everybody. Silverlock has a very interesting question. Mr. Franklin.
Yes.
Where are all the body parts from that you got made Legion?
Are there any clues?
Were any of them from that town?
Not to my knowledge, no.
But how much knowledge do you have of the?
yeah, it's
The
a
bits and
horrible
pieces.
answer. That was a horrible answer.
Yeah.
Well, again, most of the parts were gained from, well, battlefield amputations, corpses. The only part where I paid specific care to the origin was the head. I wanted someone who had been killed by the horsemen in the hopes that it would guarantee that Legion would focus its aggressions on the horsemen.
But do you know if the head had any relations to this city or town or whatever?
No. No, the head was a courier.
Perhaps there's a way to lure it to the city so we can do two birds in one stone.
I don't know if I'd be able to handle both at the same time. Do you remember what happened when a horde of zombies attacked us all at once? Imagine a whole town and Legion. Do you really want to deal with that at the same time?
And
I-
if it could escape hellfire.
I have not fought Legion before.
Well, none of us have fought him.
Well, as a side note, we fought what he was keeping at bay on an equal 1-to-1. And I don't think I could handle much more than that at once. Also, as a side note, whose talk has like females talking in the background? It's slightly distracting.
Oh,
I
that's probably
figured
my
it
daughter's,
was
or my wife and daughter. Sorry.
Yeah, I assumed it was just kids.
I
Because
I
they
think-
don't sound young enough to be Adrian and Becca's kids.
I think still after thinking about it, I still think Legion is more important. If a demon from hell spawn is going to recruit him, I think we need to take him out of play.
We do have an entire town that is imperiled. That
Question.
frankly concerns me more.
I do enjoy killing monsters, but are there any magics we can employ to prevent him from being possessed and taken over?
We'll look at our mage.
I was like, I don't
The most I can think of is finding out if he's been taken over already.
Well, if he's been taken over, well, it's one of those things. Is like if he's a spirit, then we can banish the spirit. That might be, but that's
Well,
This appears to be quite the opposite of a
Yeah.
spirit.
yeah, he's definitely flesh. I don't even know if he has blood though.
yeah. And the only thing that has affected him in one way was lightning, and
My understanding is, using the Philosopher's Stone, he is not some
Did you use
mere zombie, but using the stone, I was able to imbue him with true life.
This is just making Meredith uncomfortable because she's thinking of Rubido, Albedo, and what's his face?
Ingredo.
Yes, that one. Do you think that it's possible to make one from one being? Say 3 brothers?
Oh god.
And as a second question, if their family was known to use magic, would they also be able to use magic?
Well, I imagine if one were using actual magic with the Philosopher's Stone, it's said that it's able to create life. I am certain that one with actual magic may have been able to do more with it than I could using only modern science.
What degree of control do you think one would be able to have over one of those beings?
It's possible that if it were used correctly, one could create a being with complete free will.
Okay, that's pleasant news to hear. I hope.
I'm starting to get uncomfortable. Graham is starting to get uncomfortable, and he's starting to
creating a being
stand
with
over.
complete free will, you're legit getting into like playing God territory.
Yeah, and
I'm not suggesting we make it. I'm
I'm gonna inch over to Silverlock.
Josiah Channing is perfectly comfortable with this idea.
And again, Dr. Franklin is making it clear he can't do that.
I'm not
But-
suggesting we do it. I am thinking that it might have already been done. But
You're
that
talking
is-
about John D.
Indeed. He had it for, I'm sure, a significant amount of time, enough to do all of these things.
Enough time to make himself immortal, certainly. If possible that he experimented with other properties of the stone.
Anyway, I think it's probably best we get on our journey. And track down Legion. The sooner we get him, the sooner we can head to the village.
All right.
Right.
I will follow.
I'm going to have somebody in the party, and probably John, but
Before I leave, I would like to commandeer a horse or something that I could ride on that would make me faster.
yeah, I assume you guys can all have mounts when you head out on a long trip.
Excellent. So I am very slow.
What was it? Yeah, you guys can all have horses, and
Thank you, Adam.
yep. So somebody, I'm assuming this would be John, but again, if someone else wants to do it, speak up. Would make a survival tracking check to try to track Legion once you get to the barn.
I will help because I can do that as well.
Okay, so you can get a plus. You'll get a plus from your patron. You'll get a plus from his assistants. And if you're using your animal senses, I'll give you another. Yeah, I'll give you all the pluses.
plus 25.
Okay, not, but you know,
Yeah.
you have those various things giving you a
Yeah,
bonus.
yeah, just the basic, for of the spell. So 2 plus, so a total of plus 6. 2 for the patron, 2 for the assist, and 2 for,
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, you follow Legion's trail.
He's right in front of us.
Yeah, you're following Legion's trail over the course of a couple of days. You're tracking it. It does appear to be heading originally, but then it kind of curves. So it's heading north by northwest, and then it kind of curves. It's following the mountains into New Jersey.
Oh God, New Jersey.
Well, I guess if you're a monster, that's.
It kind of fits.
I was going to say, is he following the Delaware River? No.
Is there any rhyme or reason to the path he's taking? Like, did we deer trails or like any like human like traces?
Following trails as best it can, but there are several situations where it's just smashed through and made its own way.
So
It can do that.
Got it.
These will now be deer trails, though.
Yes.
But eventually you do arrive at a small town in New Jersey.
Newark.
It's probably about halfway.
I'm calling it Cranberry because I googled small towns in New Jersey and that's one. Don't research it because I'm putting it where I want it to be on the map and it may not have existed at this time, but we're going to go with it. Yes, so you arrive at this small town of Cranberry. People are out, going about their business. The farmers are working the field. There's the smell of bread wafting from the baker's shop.
Cranberry bread.
You guys get some looks. Strangers
Definitely
wandering
cranberry
into
bread.
town. Armed to the teeth, one of them dressed like a wolf.
We don't stick out at all, do we?
It's not strange.
I fell up with the Mary. I'm like, this isn't the town you were picturing, right? Just double checking.
No.
Good.
However, I feel like if we're tracking something here, they shouldn't be this surprised at seeing us.
Yeah, I think they would have noticed the Legion.
Do I know what he was wearing? I mean, the barn burned down, so clothing is flammable.
When you saw Legion, he was wearing basically breeches that had been kind of cut off at the knees, probably because
Right. So
they were just like tattered, basically just enough that,
Think of
just
the
enough.
Incredible Hulk.
Yes, like the Incredible Hulk, just enough to keep it fit for TV and.
as a side
Modesties.
note, could I have on the way while we were tracking asked John briefly about Native American tribes in that area
Sure.
with the description? Sorry, I forgot to. I would have totally done that on the way.
Yeah, it's like I was wondering if, but I couldn't say anything. So
No, yeah.
I will say, based on your description, you didn't quite get enough that just describing it is going to help. Like,
even with the location.
I mean, he might know tribes that are from the area, but again, yeah, I'm gonna go with no, based on because I made a note that you probably didn't have enough to get anything valuable with just a description.
Okay. I would ask as a side note if he thinks Native Americans would be purposely trying to cause more fighting between the two.
Well, it's not like we really want to. I mean, uh, you know, there are, not all the tribes are happy with you know, us pale skinned people being here, and you know, if they could get all of us out, it's like, yeah, I'm sort of one of those catch-22s. It's like, uh, I admit I'm white, but I have a lot of sympathies, and it's like they've not always been treated the best from both sides, and that's why a lot of them have been siding with the British. And they do have treaties with the king, some of them.
Okay. So you guys have, by this point, you've wandered into this. Again, you've arrived at this town. People are kind of looking at you. You're probably used to that. Like, you're not exactly, especially with Silverlock and his wolf pelt.
Quick
You're
question.
probably-
Thomas Jefferson is drafting the Declaration of Independence right now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And I'm going to let. I'll let you guys. If there's any checks you want to make.
Streetwise, are there people talking about a naked man walking through the city?
Every day.
Also make an investigation check if you want to
Investigation.
gain any information about.
Before somebody rolls, who has it?
I only have a 5 in it, so
I have a 6.
I have a 4.
okay. I think
Oh.
that we should have a certain doctor do it for
So,
us.
and yeah, you can again take a bonus +2 if someone's helping you.
Okay.
Yes.
What
I
can
don't
you
know
get?
if it. I don't know if it would be appropriate for a lady to be assisting you in inquiring about a naked gentleman.
It's a monster. Yeah.
I'm a doctor. I'm used to talking about naked people. So. There's my 4.
All right. You don't know. They're pretty sure they'd remember something like that.
Maybe we should ask more about.
I'm gonna let someone now make a perception check.
I will make the perception check.
Okay. What is your perception, by the way?
7.
7. Okay.
Mary, you may also make an empathy check at this time.
Do I? Oh, I don't know how good.
As you're asking about this at the bakery, like that being one of the places where there's actual people that aren't out in the fields at this time of day. Meredith, you notice a strange reaction from one of the baker's assistants that when you're talking about this, you're not sure, but something she seems to react in an odd way. That's all I'll give you with that roll.
Who's in? Who, I assume Aaron's character, whose name I don't remember because he hasn't written it down, and Josiah are in there together. Is there anyone else in there?
I'm assuming you guys can all be there if you want to be.
I would go over to to the doctor, and I would say, Josiah, the assistant seemed to have some sort of a reaction to your questioning. I don't know what it means, but
Adam, offline, can you check my character sheet? Because my name is definitely Thomas Bain on there.
In
it's
roll
at-
20,
It's
go
at the
to
bottom on your roll 20, and I can't fix that for you.
It's under
Go to
my
the-
settings.
Oh,
go
is
to
it?
your roll
gear.
20, go to the cogwheel
Okay.
at the very top.
Got
It
it,
says
got it, got it.
display name,
Got it.
and then press save name. And I think you might need to go to the bottom and no,
No,
Yeah,
I think
I think
that's
I
it.
got
save name. Yeah.
There it is.
Yay!
Thank you, guys.
It's one of those things that I can't fix, and I generally don't know what the player screen on Roll20 even looks like. So, because you guys have different icons than me.
Oh. Are you using a Mac or just as a
No,
GM?
no, because I'm the GM. Like, I have extra icons that you don't have. So what
Right.
you might think is the fourth one, to me, could be like sixth or seventh.
He
Adam-
has like a
Okay.
music and all of that other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's using the Zune to actually play the game with us. The Microsoft Zune. Taking an obscure device. Zune. Yes.
A Zune? I thought you said Zoom. That's old.
No,
Wow.
No.
I know.
Does
Oh.
anybody know anyone who actually had a Zune?
My
Like
brother.
Star-Lord and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Anyone not
And
fictional?
remember at the end of the movie, Kraglin. Yeah, at the end of the movie, Kraglin gave him a Zune.
Cheaper copyright than the iPod, I guess.
No, I think it was just because I think it was just for comedic effect, actually.
It worked. It worked.
Actually, once knew a guy who had 2 Zunes because
So,
they didn't have that much storage. So I know someone who had 2 to make sure he could fit all of his music on them.
were they self-loathing people, or like were they like
He was a huge Microsoft, like he was a huge Microsoft fan. Like he loved the Xbox, and he got the Zunes out of brand loyalty.
we all make mistakes in life.
Yeah, well,
I lost my iPod and it was sad. Cheers. Anyway, that's not the point.
Focus, people, focus.
The point is the baker's assistant is sketchy.
that is.
I'm
much
going
more-
to. I'm going to. Is that a him or a her? The assistant.
She's a her.
Okay. I couldn't help but notice that you had a rather unusual reaction to our inquiries.
I think he should roll deception for that because he wasn't the person who noticed that.
Wow. She doesn't know
Whatever.
that. She doesn't know
Whatever.
that. For all she knows, I was the one who noticed it.
I'm gonna say.
I can roll my sucky deception if you want.
I'm gonna say if you're
It
trying to
won't
get
be pretty.
information out of her, this would be I'll let you do I'll let you do diplomacy and a bonus if you have empathy, which you should because it's a 0 level skill. So as long as you,
I don't have diplomacy though.
oh, in which case,
I
I have
I
empathy
can
of 5
ask.
though.
I'll ask.
I do have an empathy of 5.
yeah, if we want to retcon that, so she's asking and she has the skills.
I
we can-
will.
Makes sense.
I
If
will
you
do
get-
And she noticed.
diplomacy of my 4 plus 2 for skill. I get 2, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Skill synergy. Yeah.
Same question. That actually wasn't even a question, though.
Of course, yes. What you described, it sounds wondrous. I think it'd be unnatural if I wasn't distressed by the prospect of something like that being loosed upon our town.
In what way was our description of a half-naked man unnatural?
Is it natural where you're from for half-naked men to wander the streets?
Have you seen him? I
Yes.
point to John, who is.
If
I was like, yeah, yeah.
I'll let Meredith make another empathy check.
Can I put my one style point in it?
You may, because we're almost at the stopping point.
That was just empathy alone.
Yeah. You notice when you ask her that there's a flash in her eyes, like, oops, she may have said too much.
This whole time, can Graham have been going to get like the horses and stuff?
Yeah, Graham is
he,
not
will,
there.
he will be preparing for leaving for everyone.
Yeah, restocking supplies and yeah, it's like
Anything to try out my new leg.
Out of
Sure.
curiosity, does Thomas notice anything with his magic stone? Like, she might be using magic, but can she use magic? Or would we be able to figure that out at all?
There's nothing coming from the lodestone,
Okay,
or
that's
else I
what it
would have
was.
messaged. Aaron, if there's ever something coming from the lodestone, I would message you and let you know.
Okay.
Okay.
That way you don't have to inquire every time.
Rereading Thomas's last name, I really just feel like he's in charge.
Sounds good. Sounds good. But yeah, she seems to be hiding or evasive about something.
Which is my Star Wars character, so I can seduce her, but I don't have that power here.
I mean, that was your Star Wars character's go-to option.
For everything.
It was weirdly successful.
Now I'm entirely curious. How would somebody try to seduce somebody in 1776?
Thy shins are so beautiful.
No, Aaron's Star Wars character went full on James Bond and convinced the Imperial agent to defect.
Which should not have happened.
But the thing is, she was still like an unreliable ally. Like, she liked Aaron's character,
But no one
but
else.
would literally leave the rest of the party to rot in jail, and did on one occasion.
Uh-huh.
That was the first campaign where Tony got everyone killed, and I had to say it was a force vision.
This is when rewind time actually is a good spell to have.
Yeah, no, but like he came up with this elaborate plan that got everyone killed. I'm like, all right, that was a force vision. How do you want to try to escape from the prison without dying?
So if Tony enters this game, which I'm pretty sure you're not going to have him do, could I
Correct.
get rewind time?
We don't need to worry about it because, yeah,
Tony's
no.
not in this game.
I just want to make you all aware that Cthulhu does exist in somewhere. He's got power armor, and we need to.
be very, very afraid.
We should probably not be worrying about timey-wimey stuff, lest we break something.
Yeah, that would definitely attract Cthulhu's attention.
Oh, don't you know that that's
So
who's
I'm
coming
thinking,
if we don't?
so I pull Mary aside and I say to her, out of earshot of this person, I say, we should probably follow her when she leaves work tonight.
Pretty sure she's expecting it, but yes.
I'm pretty good at stealth.
I'm not. I'll stay with Graham and his metal leg.
I was gonna say, is it a little noisy leg or?
There's a lot
It
of
depends on
leather
how recently he
straps.
oiled it.
Yeah.
Does WD-40 exist in this?
No, it's
time?
WD-12.
It's called whale blubber.
Ye old 40.
Yeah, it's lard. It's just like bacon grease or something.
Yum.
Crisco. Its original purpose.
What did he just send?
But all right. So who is following her when she leaves work?
I will.
We don't need all of us.
I just sent the
No.
Cthulhu and Power
Yeah.
Armor meme.
Yeah,
Oh, I need
I
to see.
found it.
Where?
Facebook chat.
Oh, Facebook. Okay, I was on
Oh, okay,
Discord.
hold on.
Well, just abandon the game and flood to Facebook.
So we can see Cthulhu and Power Armor.
All right. So, Aaron, you alone are following her when she leaves work. Make a stealth check to try to not be noticed.
I'm assuming it's dark,
It is.
and I'll be intentionally hiding, like behind, like looking behind things. Like any pluses or anything.
I'll give you a +2.
Okay.
For the darkness, the hiding behind things is implied when you're making a stealth roll. You follow her to a farm outside of town. Rather than going into the farmhouse, and the lights are on, clearly someone's home. You can even detect a little smoke rising out of the chimney in the moonlight. Instead of going there, she goes to the barn and kind of looks around before going inside of the barn, carrying just a basket of bread from the bakery. You presume she was bringing it home to her family, but when she exits the barn, the bread is not with her.
Question: would my lodestone be triggered by Legion?
Only if Legion is actively magical.
Which he is not. And you know this. Because we have told you so.
He's
At least
Like,
I think
weird science.
Yeah, even like werewolves stuff might not trigger the lodestone if they're not like actively transforming.
Gotcha.
But spell casting will always trigger it. Magical artifacts, if they're active, will trigger it. Ghosts and spirits usually trigger it.
me, if I'm casting a spell on you to make you more stealthy.
Mhm. Yeah. Stuff like that.
You, after
Yep.
you've become more stealthy.
Cast spell to make him more stealthy. Lodestone starts to glow. This creates minus to stealth.
That's
Stop,
amazing.
stop, stop, stop.
And the more powerful she does it, the brighter it gets. So it's like,
Yes. So she leaves the barn and then kind of quickly rushes to the house.
Okay.
Presumably the rest of the party is at the inn by this point because they didn't go with you. They're either at the inn or setting up camp outside of town.
Being a fairly well-versed monster hunter in my history, I know not to go into my own, though I do have my suspicions. So I go back to the party to let them know what I saw.
Okay. All right. Party, you are able to discuss this amongst yourselves.
Party, I saw things.
what did you see?
You have impressive
What?
vision.
I followed our a really verbose friend back to her domicile, and in doing so, she carried a basket of bread back to a barn. And you wouldn't believe it, but when she left the barn, the bread was no longer there. So either she's really hungry horses that like baked goods, or she's got a guest that really enjoys barn habitats.
How
A
much
barn
bread was
picnic.
there?
Adam, how
I mean,
much was there?
It would have been a basket of just whatever didn't sell at the bakery that day. So, I mean, probably more than one person is going to eat unless, all that person eats is bread.
I have a sinking suspicion that all that person ate was bread.
Well, we don't know that Legion's been turned.
Not yet.
I think Legion's in love.
I do find it strange
That's
Come.
disturbing.
to such a small town.
So if she ends up falling for Legion, is that like a more than one person scenario? Is that like something really? Is that weird?
Polyamory.
That's like it would be a love triangle. It'd be a love.
I think you'd look at. I think the way I would look at
Love
it is
pentangle.
Legion is
Quadrangle.
Legion. The person Legion is, because Legion only has one brain. I'd say Legion is one person. He's just had a lot of organ transplants, like literally all of them, including the bones and muscles.
Now it's a matter of she just doesn't know who she's dating. Or
Also, those of you that have seen Legion, he's not just a naked guy. Like, he's a naked guy who very visibly looks like he's made of a bunch of sewn together parts. Like,
So he's not attractive at all in any form.
no, he's
Imagine like
yeah, like.
did you get any magical signals?
Tightly over too much muscle. Visible marks where he was sewn together from parts of corpses.
Potentially damage
Parts
from
were probably not in the best condition because corpses.
and
Burn
also
marks from where he was struck by lightning on at least one occasion. Like,
and
yeah.
potential damage from a headless horseman.
So
Yeah.
so if that is him, then it's very interesting that this woman is not running away in fear.
Did she
or
look?
disgust. That's
it-
interesting to me.
she's probably trying to help out of the good of her own heart.
Nobody sane would help that person. At
A
least nobody who
disgusting
has.
monster like that.
Have you
desire
read the
to-
book?
It's not a wave.
Never mind.
Well, if you're thinking of Frankenstein, then yeah, everybody loathed him. That was part of the.
Yeah. Like,
Part
I
of
think
the
the only one who
gig.
didn't was like a blind girl or something.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just a movie.
Well, the little girl and the blind man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's the little girl too.
We don't have anything else to throw in.
Did you get any hints of? Do I know he has the lodestone? Like he was messing around with it. I feel like I've seen this before.
I'm gonna say by now you probably know.
Did you get any hints of magic from the house?
I didn't.
And the lady, just the girl, to clarify, did not look like the lady from my vision.
She looked nothing like her.
Okay, perfect. That would be not good.
I suggest we wait a couple hours till she's likely asleep and go back and investigate. At that point, stealth will be less necessary for her, but I can't speak to Legion and how their senses would be.
Can put him to sleep, maybe. Well, I agree with that plan.
Like I said, he's not necessarily our enemy.
And that's where we're gonna end. Next week we'll continue the investigation to Legion. For this week, participation point. There were shots fired, so I'll give you a danger point. Would have been much more dangerous had Graham actually shot that Indian on the other side of the bridge. That would have made things much more dangerous for you.
Yeah, I was mostly concerned with the British because I wasn't sure if the Indians were shooting
Well,
at
that's what I'm
anyone.
saying. If you shot across the bridge at the Indian, they
Oh.
would have taken that as hostility and
Yeah.
Yeah. I assumed that when I went after our guy on our side, they'd have been confused by us fighting one of our own. So
participation point. I will give you the danger point. Give you the roleplay point, and I'll give you guys a knowledge point because you guys kind of found a bunch of quest flags this week. So
Nice.
I'll say 4 for everyone.
Nice.
So generous. Awesome.
The GM is a merciful god.